live. We are live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. It's a beautiful Wednesday again. Yay, yay, yay. I'm so grateful to be here. I am Valerie Shepherd, founder and CEO of the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And we're all about helping you master yourself in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. Yay. Because it's up to you. Haha. I'm here to tell you, your life is up to you, and how you experience your life is up to you. You may not be able to control all of the things going on in your beautiful life, but I guarantee you how those things unfold and how you experience them is up to you. So, happy Wednesday. I hope that wherever you are experiencing your magnificence, your exquisite nature, and you are growing in your ability to even do it better. And so today, I wanted to talk about a subject that is so present and so rich in my life. I mean, it is present. Can you feel me? It's happening right now. And so today we're going to talk just a little bit about dancing your soul light style in the void. In the void. And it's a beautiful place when we let it be a beautiful place. Other times it is a smack dab scary place when we conjure that. And so I just want to talk about that. I want to talk about kind of how to transverse the void. So what am I talking about when I say the void? Well, along my path, and I'm assuming along yours as well, and it could be sometimes or it could be several times on our path, there's this place that's probably got some nothingness in it, right? The unknown, that could be a big landscape of nothingness, the unknown. I'm not sure what's going to happen. And when you think about it, the unknown is actually every space before we walk into the next space. If we really, really got deep about it, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm approaching a stop sign. It's not given what's going to happen. I'm walking down the street. It's not a given. It looks to us like it is. Maybe we've walked this way or driven this way so many times that we've convinced ourselves, I know what's going to happen next. But in truth, in reality, every unfolding moment is an unknown until we are in that moment. But the unknown, major space of void, where what it is we want to see, we're trying to see, feels obscured. Like there's actually something blocking my ability to see what's unfolding in front of me. There's actually something blocking my ability. I can't see it. My eyes it's obscuring my vision. Here's one of my favorites, when there are roadblocks. Things getting in your way, saying, I always get the feeling of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, right? I always get this feeling where Gandalf is standing there and he pounds his staff into the ground and he says, you shall not pass. Like that's what comes to me as a roadblock. There is some force, some energy powerfully saying, you shall not pass. It feels you shall not, like it's very personal. Ugh, bringing up some brrr. You shall not pass is a roadblock that I feel from time to time. Or anytime there's like insufficiency. Good morning, thank you for joining. When there's insufficiency, when I'm like, there's not enough. There's not enough of this, there's not enough of that, I'm not enough. Insufficiency is a roadblock. That feels like an internal roadblock. Insufficiency, my ideas of not having enough or not being enough in order to continue down my path, in order to figure out what is mine to do at this moment. Well, you know me, I love words, so I looked it up just to see this idea of the void. My friend Merriam-Webster, one of the definitions in the void, an opening or gap. That feels interesting. An empty space. Not sure what that feels like. I'm in the void with how I feel about one of the definitions of the void. Emptiness, a vacuum. A vacuum. The quality or state of being without something. Lack, absence. Pretty powerful pieces of the definition. So here's what's really coming up for me, what I'm really getting clear on. The situation, and I might call it the void, the situation, whatever that situation is, I'm facing the unknown. I'm feeling insufficiency. I'm feeling a Gandalf moment. You shall not pass. I'm feeling held back, forced back even maybe. The situation is just the situation. How we experience the situation is us. The situation is just the situation. How I experience the situation is me. Oh, yeah. How I go through the journey across the void. That's me. How I go through the journey in the valley. That's me. The valley just is sitting there. I'm just going through it. I mean, this is beautiful. I keep making the whoa face because there comes that moment when it's like, the realization of the power that rests in here, the power that rests in this instrument of the I am of you, the power that rests in the conscious nature of you, your consciousness rising. The power in here to transform the way this instrument of the self experiences that landscape, pleasurescape, experiencescape of my life, the world. I mean, think about this. Have you ever worried about something that you wanted to happen but couldn't see it unfolding? Have you ever worried about the opposite, that something bad was going to happen what if something bad happens? Have you ever been in the space of, oh my God, I don't know what to do? I have. I actually have spent part of my life worrying about what was going to happen and then trying to preconceive what was going to happen and then create a plan for the eventualities of the downside risk. It's a very beautiful corporate term that I feel like I've lived my entire life to some degree, is worrying about or preparing for or planning against the downside risk. I will be prepared. Just some conditioning. It's not the real me, but that conditioning has had real power in my life. You know, I've said before, I say in my book, sometimes these things that we're not aware of that are us are running us ragged. I wrote an article on it, What's Running You? What's running you? And sometimes these latent, under the surface aspects of who we think we are, who we're conditioned to who we're conditioned to be and believe, can run you ragged. I get tired. I don't know about you, but there are times these days where I'm tired. I'm tired. I even say I'm weary. I'm drained. So that moment that you just saw, that relaxing of the shoulders, a deep inhale, And a calming exhale is called acceptance. That's where I am, feeling weary in my life, feeling fatigued by my life. What a realization is that? And have you ever been that? Have you ever been worried about something? You're wanting something to happen and it's not. You're receiving unreturned phone calls. You're not getting anything in the mail, in any of your mailboxes. Your inboxes are empty. There's no apparent movement. It looks like what you're creating has stalled. Like I may even be in the space of, I don't know what. Not only I don't know what to do, I don't know what I want to happen. That's a space that is a real void. I don't know what I want. What do I want? What's supposed to happen now? How will I know it's right for me if I don't even know that I want it? Wow, 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 wow. And then we worry and we turn. Oh, am I doing it right? Why isn't anything helping me? Why hasn't anyone come to save me? That's one of my favorites. I know that there's a princess in me that is waiting for the prince to rescue me from the tower. I know that she's in there and I love her. And then I remind myself I have everything needed to rescue myself. And guess what? I'm not in a tower. I'm right on my own journey. I'm right in the middle of my path. It's calling to me. It's rising up to me. And here's the thing. Remember before I said the situation is just the situation. How I go through the situation is me. So worry is a choice. Definition of worry. Here we go. It's a verb. Action. To torment oneself or suffer from disturbing thoughts. To fret. As a noun, it's a state of anxiety about the uncertainty of actual or potential problems. Actual or potential. We engage in worry because we don't know how to sit in the unknown in peace and love and joy and freedom. We just don't know how. Doesn't mean that we can't. We just are practiced at the other. We're practiced at it. We're in fact conditioned to do it. We don't have time to go into all that now. You'll have to come to one of my workshops, please. And we'll talk about where does this come from, this conditioned pattern of negative response to what's going on in our lives that we can't change. Conditioned pattern of negative response. And it's a negative response because of what it does to me when I'm in that response. It's not just a bad response. It only becomes bad because I allow it to me up. I allow it to torment me. I allow myself to suffer while I'm sitting in it. That's my choice if I'm not doing anything to stop the suffering. So engaged in worry is an action of actually tormenting the self. Ew. See, sometimes this is what I like about these definitions. When you really get to, instead of I'm worried or anxious, really look up what the word means. I'm tormenting myself. Why would I choose that when I really want to be happy being me? Okay, so have you ever, this is the really fun part, how many times have you sat in worry and worried and worried only to get to the place where everything turns out okay? And you get to the other side of the worry, everything turns out okay, and you, wow, I didn't need to worry at all. Look how awesome this is. The job came through. You aced the exam. Your paper comes back and your group gets one of the highest grades. You go to the doctor and your physical turned out fine. That test you were worried about comes back negative. The check comes in. You pay the bills. Everything is all right. Everything is very, very Right. And then you say, what on earth was I so worried about? Why did wow, next time I'm going to do this. Next time I'm not going to worry so much. Yeah, been there, done that. So what is happening with me right now within the void that I am in right now, or what I call the appearance of a void? So I don't have to clamp down on it. And what I'm noticing, I went and looked up some beautiful pictures of voids in space, and there are many different vantage points. I encourage and invite you to do so for yourself. What I was struck by was the stars in the void, and how I'm telling myself sometimes nothing's happening. I'm sitting in the nothingness, and when worry comes up and I make peace with it and accept and allow it, now I'm reminded of the many twinkling stars that can be in the void or around the void. And it reminds me of something very poignant for me. When I was in ICU, and I was actually in, I call it a coma. I'm not sure if it's medically was defined as that, but when I was in that space of nothingness between the blood vessel bursting and me opening my eyes for good and staying here, that void that I was in, the way I described it was there were twinkly stars everywhere. Whenever I closed my eyes for like the first month afterwards too, there were just twinkly stars. And I felt like it was showing me the net of light that is, scientists have proven it is within everything, this net, this web of light, L-I-G-H-T, that is through everything. The net of light that holds the earth, that holds us all. That net of light. And those twinkly stars can be in the void. In the void. And so being in the void and remembering there are twinkly stars here. There is life here. There is beauty here. That in accepting, I'm in the void, and remembering where I'm wanting to go. So not sinking and anchoring in what is here that is not what I want, but anchoring even in the midst of what I don't want, anchoring in what I do, anchoring in the vision of the everlasting good, the everlasting joy, the everlasting compassion, the tolerance, the love, the gratitude, the peace that's available to us always, already, in every moment, by choice, by conscious choice, by conscious reaching out, pulling it in. Like I'm going to, it's available to me at every moment. Ow. I'm going to be it. I'm going to be it. It's about taking that deep breath of acceptance. I can feel the fear. I'm wondering what's going to happen. And I'm going to focus and anchor in. Hello, thank you for joining. I'm going to anchor in on that which is in the midst of the void, what I want. I take a peaceful, positive stance. I take an empowered, joyful stance. I take a strong Gandalfian stance. I shall pass, and I shall pass in peace, love, joy, and freedom. Yes, indeed. And what helps you to do that is your own trust and faith in that your desire is put in you by the highest levels of you. It's not wrong to want it. The path just may snake a little rather than go straight forward. And to be in that void in an expectative stance that you're going to pass through and all is well. Everything is very, very right. Yes, indeed. Everything is very, very right. And to be in that space of at all times, everything is very, very right at all times. Woohoo! Even when it doesn't look exactly that way. Thank you for joining me in this week's Hump Day Happy Chat, where we are raising consciousness. I'm very excited. Something beautiful this way comes. I will be launching it and sharing it with you. And in the meantime, may all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. And may all beings be free. That's the prayer of loving kindness from the Buddha. It's also called the Karanaya Metta Sutra. It's in my book. I bless with it. And remember, in a blessing for all beings, you're included. So am I. Yay. Stay well and be happy out there. Many blessings. Bye now. See you next time. Hump Day Happy Chat. Sign it off.